Catch me outside. All right. The Alley Act revision. It passes in the House. UBOs for everybody. USOs, HMOs, only in America, people. We have all the money. We're going to start our own UBO. It's going to be the Casual Combat League or Casual Combat Champions. I don't know. We're working on it. But money for everybody, but mostly for us.
Only in America.
Only in America, people. Only in America.
I love that you call it the Alley Act.
Alley Act.
The Alley Act. So just for context, by the way, the Alley Act revision is horrible for us.
Okay,
Rob.
I know. So Rob will be like, if we have something on the screen, he's like, make sure you read it or describe it at home. So Rob is fully decked out in, I don't know how to describe it without getting sued by Don King, but he looks like Don King.
This is Don King's.
Yeah, there you go.
I got this. I got this.
Who's the guy? What's the
one from Rocky 5?
His name is like something Washington or something.
I can't remember,
So yes, wearing his full Don King attire, a champion in the Ali revision.
His Yahoo Serious haircut.
Yes. So the Ali revision has passed.
Past the House.
Yep.
Yes.
It has to pass the Senate. So it's a death sentence for club promoters if it moves through the way it's written.
There's one thing I'll say to that after.
So when it comes to all the sneaky shit in there, one of the things is they want testing for 80% of the card. VADA level testing. For us, for a local show like we put on, it'd be about $20,000 per show. That's just, it's not sustainable for a club level.
I mean, we did
promoter.
7 shows last year. It cost us $140,000 in testing.
Just in testing. That's in this Ali Act revision.
Other concerns is disclosures of purses. So the UFC is able to not disclose purses the way that boxing currently is. You have to have a disclosure of purses. The only reason not to disclose purses is to manipulate, conceal,
We've
betray.
talked about this. We don't have NDAs in any of our contracts. An NDA supports one person and one person only, and that's the promoter or promotion.
Yeah. Another thing that's a massive concern, and again, it's like bullshit end arounds, and I'll flesh it out a little bit more, but the long-term contracts. So you're allowed to do 6-year contracts. We as promoters, we try to get our guys into 2-year contracts because it's mutually beneficial.
We can build them. You know, it shows that we're invested in them and they're invested in us.
Exactly. The idea is that, like, I don't want to put a ton of money into a dude and have him leave in 8 months. But conversely, I don't want to, a fighter doesn't want to sit there on a shelf forever. So what I heard, one of the argument points was that the promotion needs to have them active every 6 months. If they don't, they have to pay like 10x the round minimum. They can... throughout certain parts of the contract, they can like pursue different promotions. It's all bullshit, right? At least it reads as bullshit to me. So many members of the House voiced concerns and then voted yes for it. So many people that showed support for the Revision Act have reneged their support, such as USA Boxing.
Yeah, but USA Boxing, because it was such a soft pull. So USA Boxing supported the Ali Act revision, and then they rescinded their support, but didn't speak against it.
Yeah, that's fucking Bush League, dude. So, the one thing I don't understand, and I was talking to Mannix about this a little bit, and I don't know, is so the adoption of a UBO versus just
running a promotion.
Yeah, exactly. So do we, as a promoter, do we have to adopt this?
See, I don't know.
That's what's confusing. So I have to read further into it. And like, if you ever read these legal papers, like Rob reads legal papers all the time, but they usually have his name at the top of them.
Only in America.
It's thick reading. And there's a lot of minutia in there. And I'm not totally sure that I totally understand it. But again, if we have to adopt a UBO, the good news is I know a guy, Rob Malouf, the CCC, what is it again? The casual, what is it now?
Casual Combat Championship?
It doesn't matter. It's about money and us making it and fighters not.
Yeah, we'll just go fighters.
Yeah, well, I think what I'd like to do is I'm going to apply for my promoters. When we should follow this. The show should follow this. Like, I'm going to go get my promoter's license in New Hampshire.
Yes.
And then start filling out paperwork with all this money to make a UBO. And then I'll start trying to fuck over fighters. I mean, put on shows.
Yeah.
You know, we can do a little joint promotion.
Yeah. It's so wild. So, and it just, here's another thing that you can take or leave it. Everyone on the show knows that geopolitics are not a strength of mine. one concern I have is that the real big push for this is not a joke. The geopolitics.
I'm laughing about. Remember when you didn't know that Ukraine and Russia were at war?
I didn't know that they were still at war. At some point, wars have to end. But anyways, my point is this: is that it's being heavily lobbied by His Excellency. His Excellency Turki El-Ashish. Now, I'm not saying he's right or wrong, but what I'm saying is it has foreign influence for.
Do not redeem.
Yes, for an American law that is set to protect fighters, and with the new revision, how I'm reading it, and I'm not saying I'm the most learned person on this topic, it sounds like it's not great for fighters or small promoters. It sounds like it's good for just Dana White and Zuffa, who happen to be friends with Donald Trump, who's the president.
Matt was saying too. So I was like, oh, Matt's like, how do you develop fighters? You can't have a guy who's 0-1 versus a guy who's 2-1 with this UBO structure.
Walk that back. Explain why you wouldn't be able to develop fighters.
Because there's no money in it. Like
there's no farm leagues.
Exactly. So there'd be no farm leagues. And I was telling Matt, I'm like, well, you could have like a contender series. And Matt goes, for every fighter in the country, like it's just a bigger fucking pool of fighters.
And here's the thing, Mark and I, and you call me a jerk off, whatever, just fucking Google us, dude. Like, our shows have way bigger budgets than your typical club shows, right? And we would be completely we would have to go. We would have to dissolve.
It's international waters or reservations.
You go to and we've done fights in Topeka, in Lakeland, Florida, and all over the country. And it's like we see these. I don't want to call them podunk, but even in Massachusetts, they're doing fights at fucking high schools, dude. Like, you think those guys are dropping $20,000 for testing? Those guys are gone. But guys like us who are dropping $250,000 to do shows at Fenway Park, we're fucking gone too, dude. Like, I can't afford that shit. There's no way.
How many promotion companies out there do you think are going to try to turn into UBOs? Like, for example, do you think
MVP's going to? I'm positive.
Do you think Oscar's going to come out with a De La Hoya belt?
He would have to.
So the thing is, they might get away with it. I'll tell you, like anybody like Golden Boy, Matchroom, Top Rank, Queensberry,
all get absorbed.
They won't, because they can be the guys.
No.
They can. They have money, dude. They all have TV deals now with DAZN, which, by the way, is bizarre because it's 13% is owned by Turki El-Ashish, who also owns, interests and stakes in Zuffa.
Yeah. So anyway, I disagree. I think I've said this before. Is what I believe that it'll be like a UFC type model where UFC's buying up all of the major leagues, and there's like one or two that survive.
Can I make another geopolitical take?
Sure.
We're ordering belts for our fight.
Yes.
What is the hang up? So Mark's going to read a text. This is by design. So just for context, Rob, our next event, April 10th, there's 2 title fights on the line, right? They're both New England titles. With New England titles, Mark and I purchase the belts and provide them. We got a message from the distributor saying what?
The event is April 9th. Noted. Airspace is very disruptive due to war between Iran and Israel. We'll try our very best to ship by the 29th. That was yesterday. I'll hit them up. So you'll have in hands before the 9th.
Like, there's a lot of stuff going on. And also, I was supposed to go
to ship a belt right now is being held up by.
You know what it is,
Where's it
Rob?
being shipped from?
Well, relax. Fuck you, dude. Don't disclose that.
Not Iowa.
Yeah, thank you. Good answer. Not Iowa. But anyways, point being is this: is I was looking at trips this summer to Switzerland. No big deal. But the oil prices are so astronomical, and there's so much strife in the Middle East, which I guess is a new thing, by the way. It's never happened before. But they're not putting on shows in Saudi Arabia currently. Like, there's no Riyadh shows, if you notice.
No, because somebody is launching a couple of missiles here and there at Riyadh.
Yeah, well, that's a problem, dude, and especially when the dude who's in charge of all this shit is not putting on I'm not as confident as you are in this whole 5-year plan.
Yeah, I don't think Saudi Arabia. I think this money's gonna dry up. It's just a flash in the pan.
He's such an asshole.
No, I honestly don't.
So pedantic.
I'm just saying, like, because what's the reason for travel issues? There's war and then increased what?
Oil.
Oh, oil prices. Well, these guys aren't gonna figure out a way of fucking obtaining oil.
All right, dude.
They got plenty of oil. You know, nobody in Saudi
shit.
Arabia pays taxes. There's no taxes.
How's this work, Rob? Is it that they're so rich?
Yes.
That's fucking imagine being so rich you didn't pay taxes.
The moon landing was fake. I was just waiting like
and gasoline's free over there.
Wait a minute. Shut the fuck up for a second. Is gasoline actually free?
Gasoline is free over there and nobody pays taxes.
So this goes back. There was I think it was a Louis C.K. joke. I don't know. It was somebody said it. Might have been Louis C.K., but it seems too clean to be Louis C.K. But he's like, or maybe it was Birbiglia or whatever his name, Mike Birbiglia, I can't say his name, but he was like, dude, when you go to a bank, if you have so much money, they pay you extra in like interest.
If you have none,
but if you have none, they actually you get charged for over withdrawals. So he's like, they charge you for being too poor and they give you money for being too rich, and this is kind of like a good example of that. That rules.